many of the songs that are sung, purpose and why we sing them, and those types of things. During this time, uh, COVID, it's been a really tough time. So it's really nice to get together, in these new ways. Um, One of the things that I really hear a lot from a lot of people is how much we miss ceremony, and I think that one of the reasons like Red Shadow came together, it was through ceremony, and I would say it was about oh geez, about 30 30 plus years ago, and it was a small group of us, and we were doing ceremonies, and it was my father that was the one that influenced us and directed us in that in those ceremonies. And during that time, we only knew a few songs, and there were many singers that have went through um, the Red Shadow. We sang with many different singers in the beginning. It was some of my relatives and cousins. We talk about Derek Courchene, Joe Courchene in the beginning. Then it was always about ceremony, and we've had people come and join and participate in the ceremonies. And I remember when they were training us in ceremony, we would stay up all night by the sacred fire, and they were teaching us the power of the sacred fire, and how to work with spirit, and to how to sing the songs and those types of things. And I remember we made a journey out to the mountains out west, and there was a caravan of us that went out. And what we did out there, we fasted. We fasted for 4 days, and we were directed to fast and to pray and to ask for songs for the ceremonies. And many of the songs came through that way, where we would sit by the sacred fire, and we'd fast, and we would ask for these songs. And it was always done in a spiritual way, where um, the belief was that different spirits would come and gift us with these songs, and certain people were chosen to compose these songs, where the rhythm, the tune would come, and then the wording and that type of thing, and we'd work together, and it was always a powerful experience. And that was more or less how many of the songs came. Some of the songs that we sing are they weren't our songs, they weren't Red Shadow songs, but they were ceremony songs that belonged to different areas that some of the singers would pick up, and they'd bring them into the ceremony, and they would teach the guys, and that's how a lot of the songs came. And it's always amazing throughout the years, in the travels right across the country. We would come across the songs, like Red Shadow songs. And I remember being at one year. Remember being at the little NHL in Ontario here, and in the grand opening, they had a drum group coming in, and then they started to sing a song, and then, boy, I recognize that song, and they were singing the Ancestor song. Boy, that's a Red Shadow song. So it felt really nice, and it felt good, felt proud to hear that these songs uh, travel, and they reach many different people. The intent of many of the songs that we sing, they weren't ours. they did not belong to us. It was always the belief that these songs are a gift from spirit, and they're a gift to the people. You know, Red Shadow and the drum group, we were more or less instruments, or a way for the spirit to bring the song to the people. You know, and that was always our belief, that we always shared these songs through ceremony. You know, and that was because there are many different types of songs amongst our people, where we have social songs, we have honor songs, we have all different kinds of songs for different reasons and different purposes. You know, the main purpose that the songs that we were singing were for the ceremony, and we did a lot of healing ceremonies, a lot of doctoring ceremonies, and those honor ceremonies, those types of things. So that's mainly the songs that we sing. You know, they're very sacred, you know, very sacred songs. But again, you know, they're for the people. You know, they belong to the people, and um, that's what they were intended for. Um, and again, you know, we've been blessed throughout the years to have many different singers come through and be a part of the Red Shadow Singers. And I was just looking at one of the original albums that we recorded. Um, oh, geez, I don't even know how many years ago that was. But what the purpose, and when we created that CD and went into that recording, was to help and to fundraise for, you know, one of my father's visions of creating this turtle lodge. And that's what it says right in the album cover, you know, that all proceeds will go to support of Turtle Lodge. And this was the day when we didn't have a Turtle Lodge. You know, at that point, in that time, it was a dream and it was a vision. You know, and many of you that are familiar with Turtle Lodge, you know, we've come a long way. You know, in my father's vision that he had of the Turtle Lodge and creating a place. And those of you that have been blessed to be a part of, or to visit the Turtle Lodge and to be in those ceremonies, it's such an amazing feeling when you go there, and then when you're in the ceremony and the singers are singing the songs. You know, it's undescribable. You know, it's hard to describe that feeling when you're in that ceremony. Everybody is just, it's it's just there's no words to really describe how good that feels, you know, in those ceremonies. And I know when people say that they miss the ceremony, they miss that, that's what they're missing, that feeling, and they're missing that connection to the spirit. Because again, the way those songs work, for example, if we have a bear song, you know, these songs have words and meaning, and we're calling in that spirit of that bear to bring in the gifts that bear brings to the people. You know, whether it's courage, whether it's strength. You know, we're asking for different things. So they're like prayer songs. You know, and that's what those songs are. And I remember one time when we first started out, we are singing as best as we could, you know, as we're learning, and I know we all make our mistakes and all of that. And we're singing away in the song there, and we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. And there was, again, some of us we're not fluent in the language. So we try our best to what we hear. And then, so we're singing away in this song, and this elder says, uh, how come they're singing about this? And it's not making sense what they're saying. And I guess it wasn't, because we didn't really know and understand the language. We're going off of what we felt, what we thought it sounded like, you know. And I think that it's important that we understand the wording and the language in those songs. Um, because a lot of times we'll sing songs and we don't really know or understand the purpose or the meaning behind that song, you know, and why we're singing that song. You know, so I think it's important that we do know that, and that was one of the reasons we invited Robert Maytwayashing to be a part of this event this evening. You know, Robert is one of the elders, you know, that's participated in the ceremonies with the Turtle Lodge for a number of years, and he's been around for a long while. You know, in our ceremonies at the Turtle Lodge, he's our Sundance ceremony. He's the lead Wendigo con, you know, and he's really got a gift for language and being able to take it apart and to help people understand different translations in that. So that's the reason we brought Robert on. The other one we have is we've invited was my son Lucas, you know, representing a younger generation. And the photo on this event page, when you look at it, there's a little guy behind the drum. This is when we went to we were in Milwaukee, the music awards, and I took my son. I can't remember how old he was. He was fairly, he was pretty young. Um, See, he's the little guy right behind the drum between Carl Swan and Sheldon Monkman. He was, so he grew up, you know, around and in the ceremony and around the songs, you know, and we've been very lucky that he was able to pick up. So I've asked him to come along and share some songs, and then also share some of his own experiences in the ceremony and and the songs and the drum and how it's affected him in his life. The other one we have um, that we're kind of blessed with tonight is we have Coco Ray Anishinaabe Stevenson. Um, this is a guy that the drum and the songs are his life, you know, and I have a lot of respect for this man, you know, and his wife and their involvement in. See, there's Coco. He's waving. There he is waving. There's his wife, Ron, and they make beautiful skirts. But he's been around the ceremony. He's been around forever, you know, and he's always been around the drum. And you know, he'll share a bit about himself and where he comes from, and you know, he knows a lot of songs too, you know, and he's helped out with the Red Shadow for a number of years, where he comes into the ceremonies and he's one of the lead singers, you know, and he's got a gift to work with that drum and to teach and to pass those teachings on to younger people. So that'll be the lineup for this evening. So one of the first ones I want to call up again is Robert. Robert Maytwayashing is from Lake Man, Dog Creek. And again, he's a Wendigo con in a ceremonies. That's what they're known as, contraries, backwards people, clowns, that type of thing. And that's the way he is. So sometimes when you hear him speak, uh, take it the other way, kind of thing. That's the way he is. But he's got a reputation again too for being in the ceremony, and when we're done a set of songs, like we'll sing 4 songs and then we'll finish, and then all of a sudden this you hear this voice and there's another song that comes, and this is what he's known for, and everybody's all the time they say. And this is Robert singing. He's known for singing a Thunderbird song, and I'll let him explain that song. You know, I've also asked him to sing that song. So I'll ask Robert to come on and introduce himself and talk a bit about the language and the importance of language and the translations of the songs. Robert?
Can you hear me? You can hear me? Can you see me? Do you want to see me? Bonjour de maganetok so gabo mescomas cotepe kende go macondote. Sabe que tu indio can memego esi chechak. Good evening, relatives out there in Zoom land. I just introduced myself with my traditional name, which is Strong Standing Red Buffalo. And I also shared that I'm of the Bear Clan. And as Sabe, well, that's my nickname for Dave. A lot of people know him as Sabe as his nickname. Share that I'm contrary little people, spirit, and that gets me into trouble sometimes. I'm also a Buffalo warrior. And like David has said, I've been with Red Shadow a little more than 30 years. And it was the songs I remember way back when attending a warrior dance ceremony out in Bannock Point in the White Shell area of Manitoba, one of our sacred sites. And it was the songs that pulled me into that ceremony. My father was Dakota, and he was really involved with powwow in a sense that he supported two of my nieces, his granddaughters, when they wanted to dance and decided to start dancing. And he was always after me to dance grass dance, but I never did dance. I remember dancing as a child. I didn't have any regalia or anything, but I always remember being at powwow and being on the floor, busting my moves or whatever those were. But yeah, that was the extent of my dancing. So my father was always trying to pull me in to dance. He always asked me, why don't you dance? Why don't you dance? Or you should start dancing. And he was always listening to the songs that are sung in powwow. And they sounded okay to me, but I wasn't really attracted. There was nothing there that drew me in the way that it did my father. It wasn't until I heard these songs being sung by Red Shadow at this ceremony that it touched my heart. There's a phone here, Mary. Sorry, guys. It touched my heart. And ever since then, basically, there's been no turning back. And one of the biggest things that hit me with respect to those Red Shadow songs was that I could understand what they were saying. You know, a lot of the other songs in powwow, I couldn't understand what they were saying because I guess it was different languages. I'm guessing a lot of it might have been Dakota. But with these Red Shadow songs, bang, it hit me. I could understand the words they were singing. And from there, I got pulled in. I wanted to learn more. I started attending more and more ceremony. And then we ended up hosting ceremony here in my home community, my wife and I. And one of the young warriors that had gone out and fasted and was a part of the dream and vision of creating Turtle Lodge, stayed with us for a few weeks. And he's the one that kind of trained me. His nickname's Chump, one of Dave's cousins. And from there, it just took a life of its own. I started having the confidence to start singing at the drum, and next thing you know, I'm being asked to lead the odd song, and it was the songs that really attracted me, and the spirit and intent of those songs, and again the beat of that drum. You know, in our life as Anishinaabe people, the drum is central to our way of doing things. It centers us. It pulls the people together, and it creates a sense of harmony and balance, and it puts you in tune with yourself and all of creation. They say the drum is the heartbeat of our Earth Mother. And it's said that when you're in tune with the songs, when you're hitting the drum, beating the drum, your heartbeat is at the same speed as you are hitting that drum. And I believe that, because that's when you feel everything just fits. But with respect to that, the songs that are sung by Red Shadow, as Dave has mentioned earlier, a lot of young men went out and fasted for those songs. And then there were other songs that were being brought in that other people had either developed or created, or they were very old songs that had just been passed down from generation to generation. The song that Sabe is referencing, the one they say all the time, it's actually a very ancient Thunderbird song. And I just got lucky in a sense that I purchased back in the days of cassette. For you young ones there that don't know what a cassette or an 8-track is, it was back in the days of the cassettes. And I had purchased the cassette, and the title of that, or name of that cassette, was 100 Years of Minnesota Ojibwe Songs. And one of the songs that were on there was this old Thunderbird song, and it was actually sung on that cassette twice. The first one was sung solely by an old man, and he sang it by himself. And then the next version of it is they had a regular big drum with a group of guys. I think that drum was called Wisconsin Dells, if I'm not mistaken. And they sang it the way that we sing it today. And that's where that song came from. But that song, it's an old song of our people. And like Dave said, most of our songs, for the most part, are meant to be shared. As far as the majority of the Red Shadow songs, they are meant to be shared, but we ask people to respect those songs and how they came to be and what their intents and purposes are, and to sing them only in ceremonial settings. And what I would mean by that is you don't dishonor them, where sometimes you have individuals that are marching down the street and they're hitting the drums hard and they're protesting this or protesting that. We ask that those songs not be used in those types of settings, because that's not our way. We ask that you use them in ceremonial settings where we're offering our prayers, we're giving of ourselves in ceremonies, whether it's sweat lodge, Sundance, or other. That's where those songs are meant to be used and to be sounded and to be shared. So there's a lot of different songs that have been made over the years, and again, for intents and purposes, when these songs are shared, there's words in those songs. And for the most part, what's happening, if you want to call them calling songs, in a sense that you're calling on particular spirits to come in and assist in that ceremony, to come help that healing that needs to take place to happen in a good way. That's the intent and purpose of a lot of those songs. And each song will have its own set of words that go along with the calling in of those spirits. Much like how some of our elders, when they are gifted certain songs that only they are to sing only in certain ceremonies. I've come across that in my lifetime. And they'll specifically say that when they share those songs, that this song is only meant to be used at this specific time, and it's not to be used anywhere else. And it's a song that was gifted specifically for me to use for this time. You know, there's those types of instances too. So that's kind of how I got involved over the years, to the point where I too, I have some children. Well, actually they're adults now, but when my boys were growing up, they did the same thing. They sat around a drum and they started singing too. I sing in front of my grandchildren. They've heard me sing, and maybe someday my grandsons will take their turn sitting around that drum too, and that's something I hope, and we'll see how that goes. But again, that's kind of what I have to say for now. I'll throw it back to Dave unless there's, and I don't know how we're doing this for questions, but this is our first time doing this, so bear with us. It's a work in progress and we'll get through it together. So back to you, Dave. Can't hear you.
Okay, no, I was just, I was asking for guidance. So maybe what we'll do is I'll introduce our other guests, and then we'll go back to the other songs. And then questions, like we have some questions already. We'll get to those questions. So the next guy I want to introduce is my son, Lucas Michano Courchene. Again, this is a young guy that he grew up around the drum. You know, he grew up in the ceremonies, and somebody that I'm really proud to call my son. You know, I'm proud to be his father. You know, I know he's had his struggles and his learning periods. You know, and continue. You know, it does, and I know that he's found strength around the drum, and he has found strength with the songs. So, you know, I'll let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about his experience with that. So Luke, go ahead, take it away.
Bonjour, DT Tibika, Nimikimaka, Canudo Dame, Bikikan, Donji. First of all, I just want to say I'm honored to be a part of tonight and to share some songs. In regards to my experience with Red Shadow, you could say I've been a part of them ever since I was a little baby. Like my father said, I've been around the drum ever since I can walk, ever since I can be around ceremony, and I give full credit, you know, to my parents for you know, bringing me up in that lifestyle, in that environment, and like my father had said, there's no other feeling, there's no words that you can really describe that you find in ceremony when you're back in that setting. And I could say, you know, I've developed that gift of singing at a very young age, and I've carried that with me, you know, and I like to utilize that as best as I can, and continue to do so throughout my life. And in regards to the power of the drum, like again, like my father had mentioned, you know, there's something that drum, you know, resonates inside, deep inside. Every time that I reunite with those the singers, whether they're Red Shadow or not, but whether it's in that lodge, whether it's around that drum, there's just a feeling develops inside of me that you know, like I said, words can't describe. It's you only feel it there. But other than that, like I said, I've been a part of Red Shadow ever since I was a little baby. You know, I've been a part of the Red Shadow Juniors, and I've gotten to sing along many great Red Shadow singers. So other than that, that's me.
Okay, I'm just having a little bit of I'll introduce Coco Ray Stevenson. Again, he's another singer that's been around for a number of years, you know, and he has his own drum group, and he's sang with many people, you know, and he's always more than willing to, when he's available and has the time, he always comes and and helps out with the ceremonies. You know, we're lucky to have him part of the ceremonies. You know, and some of our ceremonies we have, like we'll go 4 days. We have one drum, and the singers will sing. You know, for 4 days straight, and it can be demanding, and it gets tough at times, right to the point where singers will lose their voice. They have a hard time to even talk after. And a lot of these singers will come, and there's no expectation of payment, or they want to share their gift with the people. They want to share their gift with the spirit, and help bring that life to the people. And of course we try and we offer gifts and those types of things as best as we can, but it's never about payment and that type of thing. It's always about giving and sharing our gifts with one another. So with that, I will introduce Coco, and he can share a little bit about his experience and with the songs and Red Shadow and the ceremony, and then we'll go into do some songs.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, you know what? Over 33 years ago, I was I was given the name Pimose Maengan, which means walking wolf, and the clan that I belong to is the Martin clan, and that's what I found out back then too. So it was over 33 years ago. I actually started singing with the Red Shadow Singers. Can everybody hear me? Okay, thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So over 33 years ago, I started this different path in life, I guess you can say. I grew up in the North End. I went to a ceremony for the very first time. A gentleman by the name of David Blacksmith took me to a sweat. First sweat I ever been to, and that was at Hillside Beach. When I was over there, I went into my first sweat, and I ended up getting an overwhelming awakening, I guess you can call it, from listening to the songs on the drum, because they were singing songs on the big drum and they were singing songs in the sweat lodge. And while I was in that sweat lodge and while I was listening to those songs, what ended up happening was I started getting a funny feeling. And even in the sweat where it's really hot, my hair was like standing up. I was getting chills. So after that ceremony was done, I asked, what happened? And Dave actually, Sabe's dad, he told me, he says, that was your spirit. Your spirit was letting you know that, what happened to you was a good thing. It was almost like it was awakening my spirit. And the path that I chose growing up in the city was a very fast living, filled with drugs and alcohol and whatever else that I came from. But that day, after that one ceremony, you heard of a born again Christian. Well, that day I became a born again Indian. And that's true. So what ended up happening was I asked, what do I have to do? I want to do this. And the funny thing is I knew, because my relatives were actually the original Red Shadow Singers. There was Tigger, there was Garney, there was Dwayne, and Cap, and they were all sitting around, and I said, I want to do this, right? Because I all knew them from Pegwas. We're all from Pegwas. So I ended up, so I was told, if you want to do this, you're going to have to change your ways, because those guys knew who I was and they knew what I was about. And I was told that if you want to do this, you want to do it right, you're going to have to give this up, you're going to have to give that up. And that was drugs and alcohol in order to do it and do it right. So what I ended up doing is I ended up saying, okay, that day I made that commitment to be able to do that. So I did. And I never looked back, and after singing powwow and after, you know what, back then we were actually singing old Blackstone songs like Saskatchewan River, songs like that, old Whitefish Bay songs, and it's funny because I still remember those songs back then. And I remember singing, David used to like singing a song, but I found out later that I found out that was a burial song, and I didn't sing it anymore after I found out what it was for, and it was in the Dakota language. But you know, like Sabe said, they've learned songs a long time ago, and sometimes they didn't exactly know what they were singing, but they wanted to sing them, right? And their heart was in the right place. So what I ended up doing is I wanted to sing even more. So I reached out and I started to learn how to sing powwow on top of ceremony. But you know, I didn't, like Sabe says, you know, and we call him Sabe, by the way. That's the one hosting. Like he says, is that you know, we made a commitment. Like I made a commitment for myself, and the commitment that I made was that is if it can work for a kid living in the city, in the ghetto, if that's what you want to call the North End, but if it can work for me, it can work for anybody, you know. So ever since then, I've been teaching people how to do it. You know, I've been teaching over 30 years people how to sing Red Shadow songs. And I bet you I've probably taught over 5,000 people within the school divisions, the universities, and other things that I've done for different organizations. So when you hear songs like, I don't know, the Bear song, for example, you know, and also the Creator song, Sabe song, you know, Wolf song, all those songs that almost everybody all across Turtle Island know, and even beyond. You know, those are the songs that I always try and teach first, because that's where I started, and I haven't forgotten who I am and what got me to where I am today. So I always go back to that, you know, and that's what feeds my spirit as an individual. I need that. I need that. I need that fulfillment of having ceremony in my heart, surrounded by the people that are there for the same reasons and for the right reasons, you know, the good reasons, you know, and you don't necessarily get that when you're singing at a powwow, whether it's a traditional powwow or not, because you know what's going on after. It's no secret, right? But when you go to ceremony, it's a totally different vibe. And what it does is it just feeds my spirit. And, you know, anytime I can make a contribution, and that's what I did. I made a contribution. I tried to do my best every time I sat at that drum. And for the last few years, you know, yeah, I've been designated as a lead singer at most of the ceremonies when I do go there. And you know, that's like the best feeling in the world. It truly is. There's no bigger honor. You can win Gathering of Nations. It's still not the same feeling, you know, and I do my best, and I try and spread the love, you know. If there's other people there, other singers, what do you want to sing? You know, everybody's got an opinion. It's not just me, you know. It's always, what do you guys want to do? Okay, let's do it. You got song 1, you got song 2, you got song 3, and you got song 4. That's the way it works, right? So I just kind of spread the love, but, and I definitely don't mind sharing a song, whether it's now or later, it doesn't matter. But, you know, I just wanted to let you know who I am, how long ago I've been singing with Red Shadow, and it's been over 33 years. Actually, uh, ended up going out there just a few weeks before Christmas. That's when it started. It was wintertime, or just before winter. Yeah. So that's when I ended up going in. So yeah, you know what? For the most part, and the style of singing that the other lead singers had before me, like I mean, you know, they have their own style, you know, and that's what I have. I have my own style. I make my own songs, and I sing in my own style the way that I do. And you know, one of the things I did as an individual sitting at that drum was just fit in, you know, and that's what I did. That's what I did all the time to the best of my ability. And yeah, you know what? I didn't expect to talk. I just wanted to listen, you know, and because, you know, there's still some of those old songs that I don't understand, but I sing them and I teach them. But, you know, it's nice to have people like Robert or Dave when we're at ceremonies, and I can go to him and I can say, well, what is this song saying? But Robert's like, when he interprets a song, he's like the professor. You know, he's like the professor of the Ojibwe language. He can break it down, and every little thing about it. He's the man. So whenever anything comes around, whenever we're singing a song, if it's new, he says, "How do you say that exactly?" Oh, okay. Well, we say it this way, And whenever I do make Ojibwe songs, and I've made a lot of songs. I've made a song for Dave out in Saging, and recently I just made a song for Sabe's mom, and the drum that's at the lodge right now. That was just given not even a year ago, I think. But yeah, you know what? I do appreciate being here, and you guys are my ceremony family, and I really do miss being together with you guys. So if you want me to sing a song, I'm not going to. I'll sing a song anytime. All right. So Miigwech, and I'll give it back to you. All right, Sabe. Oh.
Aho. Again, I just want to thank Coco. He has such a beautiful spirit. And you do feel that when he's in the ceremonies. When he comes in and he shares his gift with the people. It's and we've been blessed in that way to have good people like Coco and Robert, and coming into the ceremonies, and being a part of helping that spirit touch the people. So maybe what we'll do now is I'll get Lucas to do a song, and Robert can do the translation of and the wording of that song. Lucas, you can pick the song, decide which song you want. We talked about a few different songs, whichever one you feel like singing.
Yeah. And maybe Coco can do a song after if he wants.
A prayer song. Oh, I guess we're just having a bit of a technical with the mic there. The sound is I don't know if it's we can hear you, but it's the mic seems to be adjusting to the sound. So maybe what we could do is we can get Robert to translate the meaning of that song. Robert, you're on mute.
There we go. Yeah. I couldn't understand what he was singing. I couldn't hear him, or I couldn't hear what he was singing. Just kidding. The literal translation basically is Songeze Anishinaabe. I hate using the term Indian, but the Indian is strong. Literal translation. Miigwech Manidu, thank you, Creator. That's a challenge that we have when we try and translate the language into the English language. Is our language is very descriptive, whereas the English language is very blunt. And what that song is talking about in reality, when you listen to the spirit of the song, if you will, is like as Indigenous people, as the first peoples to our lands, this is where our great Creator had placed us. And regardless of everything that we've gone through as a people, with respect to colonization and all the impacts that has had on our people, we're still here. We've been very resilient. And it's songs and the spirit of the songs, like the one that was just shared, is what has given us that strength and resilience. We understand there's something much greater than us alone, that we're merely one strand in that web of life, that we are interconnected to everything. And because of that interconnectedness to everything, that's also what gives us that strength to continue on in the way that we have. And for all of that, we say thank you, Manidu. We give thanks to our great Creator and all of creation for that blessing that we've been given with. And that's really what that song is really talking about, all of that and so much more. But again, when you try and translate it into the English language, it's very blunt. It's basically the Indian is strong and thank you, Creator. But again, like in the way I try to translate it, it means so much more. You have to understand, again, the spirit and intent of that song, and you have to allow it to touch your spirit. And if you do that, you can understand and grasp what that song is trying to say and what that song is saying. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Miigwech.
Okay, yeah, once again, thanks for the translation, and thanks to Luke for sharing and picking that song. It's such a powerful song. Next, we'll go to Coco Ray Anishinaabe for the next song, and it's up to him, whichever one he wants to do.
Oi, well, in case you're wondering why he's calling me Coco Ray Anishinaabe, a long time ago back then at Hillside Beach, that's the name that somebody gave me. And I remember Dorothy, she's no longer with us, was always around there. And she always called me Coco Ray Anishinaabe. So everybody in Pigwas called me that too, that used to come to ceremony. Funny thing about the Red Shadow Singers is that, everybody that was at that camp back then, living in residence at that camp at Hillside Beach, all ventured off into their own communities and started their own ceremonies. And that wouldn't have happened if it didn't happen there at that time. So Sabe's dad, Dave, Junior, he was the one who kind of pioneered the ceremony life with a bunch of people all across Canada. You know, we have people from coast to coast that come to ceremonies, but one of the first songs that I ever learned, you know, is what I'm going to share. And I don't think I need Robert to help me with the translation. You know, it says, thank you, Creator. You're thanking God. You're thanking the Creator. That's what it means. And I just figured I would share that. But when I share it, what I do is I sing it in the harder way. You know, yeah, you can. When it started off with the original, it would start off in a shake, and then it would end up going into a straight beat. But I like to sing it really, really slow, eh? Because it just sounds so beautiful when people sing it. So that's the way I like to sing it. So I'm gonna do that, and hopefully it turns out okay.
2 push-ups?
Do you want me to do 2 or 4? All right. Oh, why, yo, why, yo, why, yo. Oh, why, yo, why, yo, why, yo. Oh, way, yo, way, yo, way, yo. Oh, way, yo, way, yo, way, yo. I make way, scared, manito. Oh, way, yo, way, yo, way, yo. 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 I make waves, yeah, manito. Oh, way, yo, way, yo, way, yo. Oh, way, yo, way, yo, way, yo. So that's one of the the very first song I ever learned, and I just you know I just also wanted to say that I do powwow clubs, and I've been doing those for over 25 years. And at the end of each powwow club, that's a song that I sing, and I'm currently doing that right to this day. So the songs that we sing, they're not just for a short period of time like they are at powwows. They last and are gonna last for as long as we're around, and even longer after we're gone. You know, so it just and it's a different style of singing. You know, you're not singing like wah, right? You're not singing that powwow thing. You're just a nice soft level, so you can last those 4 days that we talked about singing. So, Miigwech, and if you want me to do another song, just say so. Heck, I'm even willing to do requests if I know it. Hey. Anyway, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Coco. Just again, listening and hearing that song, you know, it brings you back to when we're in ceremony, and you know, a lot of times we'll right at the end of our ceremony, we sing that song, right? And we're so thankful and grateful for everything, you know, when we sing that song. You know, again, miigwech kijewaneitu, you know, you're being grateful. We're thanking the Creator, and we all have our own reasons why we're thankful, you know. So it's yeah, it was nice to hear that song. You know, it brought back a lot of memory of being in the ceremony. Okay, next is we'll go to Lucas, and then we can do. We're gonna save Robert's song for last because that's when we usually we usually hear when we think we're done, and then he picks it up again. And then we'll go into if anybody has any. We have a question, and then we'll do the questions right after the songs. So there's a question there already, and then if anybody has any other ones, we'll you could just type it out, and then we'll answer them. Okay, Luke.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that was the Kitchi Sabe song. That kind of falls in line with one of the first questions we had there. You know, there's a question of the literal meaning of Sabe. So Robert can answer that since he's our professor here in the language. So you know, if Robert can do the translation of that song.
Shut up, Dad, and I'll talk. Okay, again, along the lines of one of the questions, what is the literal meaning of Sabe in the Ojibwe? Giant? Bigfoot? Well, that song that was shared is in reference to Sabe, which we recognize as something big, something that's huge, massive. And a lot of people also nickname that particular spirit Bigfoot. And what the words in the song are saying is Miigwech Sabe, thank you. This huge spirit, Gikinamo to Anishinaabe, that you've come to teach the human being, Tizungi Gabuit, to stand strong. That's the literal translation of that song. And again, it's referencing, you know, how we as Anishinaabe people, you know, we always rely on spirit to help us carry us through whatever it is we're going to experience. We depend on spirit for that guidance and that direction, you know, which is why we're constantly in ceremony. We give thanks, but as well as we give a part of ourselves in ceremony, whether we're fasting or offering that tobacco or putting up those cloth offerings or offering those feast foods. We're giving something in return for the direction and the guidance that we get to help us to stand strong. And one of those spirits we ask to help us is that spirit of Sabe. And again, our non-Indigenous brothers and sisters refer that one of the names they call them is Bigfoot. Another name is Yeti, and there's all kinds of different names. And it's not only, this is a spirit that seems to have a history in people of around the world. So it's not specific to us as Anishinaabe people. There's stories and legends of these beings around the world amongst other people, other nations. And again, it carries that teaching of honesty. You know, in order to move forward in a good way in this world. First off, we live in a world that for lack of a better term is very dishonest. You know, we can look to our relations down in the United States and the last 4 years that they went through with the leadership that they had. You know, they went through a very turbulent time because of there was a lot of dishonesty going on there. And the Sabe spirit teaches us that we need to be honest with ourselves first before we could be honest with others. You know, if you're not feeling good about yourself, and you're trying to live your life, you know, you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest to your spirit, which is why you have, if you've gone through things in your life, you haven't allowed yourself that time to heal and to move forward. You're not being honest with yourself. That's what that song is about. You know, you call on that spirit to help give you that strength, you know, to stand strong, to face whatever's on your path, and to persevere and to move forward in a good way. And then that way you can radiate that honesty amongst all the people you interact with and all the things that you interact with, all our relations. So that's kind of what that song's talking about. So again, I hope I was able to answer that question with respect to what is the literal meaning of Sabe.
Froze up, eh? Okay.
He's not moving, so he probably
Okay, so
frozen.
well, it froze up. So that's what we're gonna get from him for now. Until we can until he unfreezes. So what we'll do is we'll go to Coco. You know, I've asked Coco to do a prayer song that he has, you know, and it's a song that I really enjoy hearing when we do our pipe ceremonies. You know, this is a song that he sings, you know, and he can talk about that song. Take it away, Coco.
Okay. Well, you know what? This song belongs to my drum group, and the translation is "Hear our prayers, Creator." You know, and it was made specifically, actually, for a pipe. My mother-in-law, who's fluent in Cree, comes from a Pasquia Cree nation, and when I want to make songs in Cree, I'll ask her. And all the songs that I sing usually are saying thank you for a good life. And this particular song, you know, it was for a different reason. The pipes were being smoked, and I was requested to sing at that. So it took about 2.5 weeks after I got the words, and there was 2 versions made. I made one, and one of my singers at my drum group, he made another one, and his sounded better, so that's the one we went with. But whenever we go sing at the Turtle Lodge for the last, I guess, maybe 2 years now, 2.5, 3 years, I guess, I've been going there pretty consistently. This is a song that I sing for the pipes. It translates to, again, hear our prayers, Creator. So again, that was a song that was composed by the Walking Wolf Singers. But you know, when I go anywhere, especially when I go to ceremony, doesn't matter, you know. I'm either a Red Shadow singer or my own singer, Walking Wolf singer. So doesn't matter who I sing with. I'm willing to honor each drum that I sit at. Oh. You want me to go again?
English.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you could.
Okay, we're just having some technical difficulty with on Robert's end. He got kicked out. I don't know why, but they kicked him out. He's trying to get back on. So yeah, so maybe what we can do is pardon me. Maybe if Coco does want to do another song, and then we'll go to Luke, and then
Sure.
hopefully it'll give us enough time to get Robert back on to do the language piece and to do his the Thunderbird song. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? This isn't necessarily a Red Shadow song, but this is a song of where Red Shadow started from and who it's from. I made this song a few years back to honor Dave Courchene Jr. So this song is the song that I made to honor him. And, you know, because one of the things that I do is I make songs and I wanted to honor him the best way that I possibly could. And this is who I am and what I do. So I made a song for him and it honors him, just saying thank you. You know what? Not just thank you for me, but thank you for all of the people that he's helped over the years. Thank you for starting the Red Shadow Singers, composing all the songs originally. You know, a lot of songs that we sing for Red Shadow come from him way back when he was fasting, you know. That Sabe song, for example, you know, he talked about that Sabe song and how it came to him in a fast. Because I taught that song at the Turtle Lodge to a few people last summer. But once Robert's back and you know, or I can sing whatever, I don't mind. I'll sing whatever you guys want. So if you guys, I'll look on the chat here. Chesqua, Peka. Ever sick. How can you tell you're from Peguis? What's up, boy? I'm gonna give you a poke, you know? Hey, that's how you know you're from Pegos when you got that. You're just down the road from Fisher River there, boy. Hey. All right, here's the song that I made a few years back. But we sing it at the ceremony at the Turtle Lodge. And the Red Shadow singers, most of them know it now. Unless my wife wants me to, I'll go with this. Make way, Moshamas, make way, Negane Akenani, way, yo, way, I don't want to take up too much time, but if I need to do another one, I will.
Again, thank you for that song. You know, again, that's a testament of Coco and the type of spirit that he carries. You know, and he's the little drummer boy. Song of gift. That's what he gives, and it truly means it means a lot. You know, it does. You know, when he uses his gift and he dedicates and creates songs like that for people and for honoring them for the work that what they do. And I think that's such an important part of our culture and traditions as a people that we need. We need to lift each other up, and we need to carry each other. You know, if you look at our history and the hardships that we've been through. Maybe what we can do now is there's somebody asking the question. They want to know the words to Thursday Derbies song, the Thursday Derbies song. Wait, no, that's the Coming of the Thunderbird song. Robert's going to be doing that ancient Thunderbird song, and maybe what we can do, we can ask Robert to do that song now, all the time. You know, we're going on an hour and a half here. Now that
You gotta do this again.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what I was talking about earlier. One of the songs, Get You Sabe. I think I explained it to death, so I think we're good there.
I think that they wanted you to go through the words one more time.
Which one?
The Kichi Sabe, just the words of.
Okay, now I gotta get the song in my head again.
Which Kichi Sabe?
Thank you, big being. That you're gonna teach the human being, because in essence that's what Anishinaabe means. To stand strong. That's kind of what the words in that song are saying. And I think like I said earlier, I explained the death already, deep down meaning of that song. Right? Is that what people were looking for?
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. There's another case, somebody's asking about the meaning of the turtle song. I don't know which turtle song they're referring to. So I'd have to have an idea of that. That's coming from Morris. Jasmine is asking, when is a good time to sing the White Spirit Buffalo song. And again, without hearing that song, I really can't answer that, other than to say at most, for all intents and purposes, most of these songs, whether they're Red Shadow or other ceremonial songs, which I suspect White Spirit Buffalo is, these are songs that are intended to be sung at ceremony, whether it's Sundance, Sweat Lodge, or other, right? And then there's a friendship song, Sundance song, tree song, gathering song. Yeah, there's we're going to be having more sessions on guessing to go over some more of these songs. So with yeah, we're running out of time here, so I guess I've been asked to sing this old Thunderbird song I came across that I talked about earlier. Yes, it's perfectly all right to learn these songs and to sing them. That is, again, the whole intent and purpose of those songs, is to touch your spirit, to help you on your own healing journey. And in a roundabout way, by doing that, you're helping others with their own healing journeys. So the one thing I forgot to add when I was talking earlier about how my father was always after me to dance. He never witnessed me dancing in powwow as an adult, but he did see me dancing and doing other things in ceremony, whether it was Sundance or other ceremonies. But the other thing that I wanted to mention too is my dad became very involved with the drum, to the point where he was recognized as the elder at the drum. And a lot of times when we're around a drum and stuff, young guys being as they are will get up and they'll go and use the washroom, they'll go have a smoke, they'll go and visit, that type of thing. When ceremony was on, once my dad sat down at that drum, he never got up until that ceremony was finished for that day or however long. He was always at that drum. And that's how much respect he had for that drum. And he always used to share with me and some other people around the drum, you know, when we would sing certain songs, he would tell me later, I had a visitor, meaning that a spirit would be right beside him, and he felt that presence. And he just loved the drum. Anyway, I'll do 2 push-ups of this song. Is that okay? Anyway, it's an old Thunderbird song, and again, I'll explain the words in it. Maybe I'll do that now. Now I gotta remember the song. Maybe I'm gonna have to sing it first and get the words before I translate them. Okay. Take it away, Coco. Way up, yo, hey, way to hide 'em. Way up, yo, hey, way to hide 'em. Way up, way up, way up, way something like that. And I had help. Mary was helping in the background. So basically what that song is talking about is it's going to be a beautiful day. After the Thunderbirds have come and done their work, they've come and made their noise, and they've brought those life-giving waters through that rain. And that's what that song is talking about. It's giving thanks to the spirit of the Thunderbird and the work that it does on our behalf and on behalf of all of life. So yeah, that's what that, and that was 2 push-ups. And you also know it's a double beat. It's a little bit different beat. That song always gets the dancers up and moving in ceremony. A lot of times when you see the dancers struggling in Sundance in particular, you sing that song, it just livens them all up. They're all over the place. They're dancing. It gives them strength. So yeah, I remember I traveled to Africa back in the mid-90s, and they were suffering a drought over there. And I was taken up to a village, and I sang that song there. And I got a phone call the next morning. The group I was traveling with, they wanted me to go back to that village. They said after we left, the rains came, and they attributed it to that song. They wanted me to go and sing that song again. Has nothing to do with me. It's all about the song, right? So yeah, I guess that's it.
Miigwech, Robert. You know, I just know in these in the ceremonies where we were thinking we're done dancing, and all of a sudden he just jumps in, and here comes that song, and he gets everybody all pumped and all going again. Yeah, so somebody was asking about where they can get the Manitowopi CD. iTunes has it. I think you can order it off of Amazon. Yeah, but you know, people have tried through the Turtle Lodge and they don't have any more. Like they've sold out, and you got to go online to look for it and pick those up now. There's also there's a lot of people asking for more sessions, and that's the plan and the intent. We're gonna do more sessions where we'll bring back Robert and Coco and Luke and other former Red Shadow singers or singers that have been a part of our ceremonies, you know, that we can again share the songs. And I know it's not enough time, and that we want to be here longer. And you know, some of our ceremonies we used to go all night long, just sitting around the drum and singing and visiting. And you know, it's having the I think Leah Sinclair Stevenson has her hand up. Out from Peguis. So anyway, you know, again, you know, we're gonna close it off there. You know, I want to once again acknowledge Robert for sharing his gift of the language and being able to help us in learning the understanding of what we're singing. Coco again for sharing his gift, the song, and his connection with the drum. Lucas, you know, for sharing his songs, you know, songs that he sang, you know, and his stories. You know, so with that, I will say miigwech. You know, it's been a blast. You know, I know it's not enough time. We need more time, and we're going to make more time. So with that, you know, I want to wish everybody, you know, good health, you know, and keep safe. Wash your hands, you know, stay home. But you know, it's been really good, you know, getting together with everybody here and being a part of this tonight. You know, this new way of doing things. You know, so with that, you know, I'll say miigwech and we'll sign off. Miigwech.
Thank you, and stay safe, everybody.
Take care, Coco.
Thanks, Luke. You too.